The Chiefs, they can't leave the 2025 draft without addressing what, Devin?
Everybody knows this. How to keep Patrick Mahomes clean. They lost Joe Tooney last year. He played guard, and he moved out to tackle. They just moved a bunch of different people around, whether it was Wanye Morris. Like, so many different guys were in there playing left tackle. So I don't know what they decided to do. They bring in Moore from San Francisco, so the assumption is that he solidifies left tackle. That's yet to be seen, so maybe they go get a guard. It doesn't matter if they get a guard or a tackle. I think that's going to be the top need. And I think the other need that everyone's not talking about, because the way the Super Bowl kind of happened was Philly, their pass rush just killed the Chiefs. But I think they also need to get a cornerback. I think when they won the Super Bowl the year before, we watched L'Jarius Sneed and McDuffie dominate on the defensive side, get up there, play man-to-man defense, press, and they just took away people. And I said it last year when they lost L'Jarius Sneed, I thought that was going to be a huge impact. It wasn't really a huge impact all throughout the season. They went out there and they won games. It might not have been pretty, but they continued to win games. I thought it showed up more in the Super Bowl from a standpoint of, I don't think they felt as comfortable saying, let's just go all out and blitz and stop everything and we'll still win. They stopped Saquon Barkley, but they showed to be susceptible that they couldn't really slow down Philadelphia's offense. They couldn't just go out there and play man-to-man defense. And then they also lose Justin Reed, one of their top veteran safeties. So I do think being able to get that corner, I think when you have two corners that you really trust and love, if you can get that, then it allows your defense to operate feeling more free. You can do different things. And I think Spagnuolo's a guy that he likes being good in the secondary. He feels confident what he can do, drawing up pressures and everything like that with the front, that when he has the back end that can take care of business. So I do see corner as kind of a need that I don't know if it would be talked about as much because of the offensive line and where they stand there, but I think a corner will really help that defense as well.
I'm going to focus on two needs that aren't immediate, but they need to be thinking about this. They've got key players who aren't going to be there a lot longer. Chris Jones, the defensive tackle. They need another Chris Jones at some point. And Travis Kelce coming back makes tight end not the blaring, blinking red light need that it would have been. And that gives them an opportunity to maybe fly under the radar and position themselves to get their next Travis Kelce. Tyler Warren would be awesome. If the Chiefs get some, I don't think it's happening, unless they trade up like they did to get Patrick Mahomes. But they need their next Travis Kelce. They need, from the standpoint of building a team and allocating dollars, if you can get a tight end who plays like a high-end receiver but gets paid like a high-end tight end, that's a bargain for a team. And that's one of the reasons why the Chiefs have been able to stay so competitive, even though they are not blowing out the financial curve the way that other teams are. When you've got your most important weapon in the passing game making half of the top of the market at receiver, and he's basically a receiver, you need another guy like that. And they desperately need to replace Travis Kelce. It would be a little awkward this year, and I think everybody would know it's his last year if they would do it. But it's better to do that than to be caught high and dry with no Travis Kelce. Because, they were able to succeed without Tyreek Hill. I don't think they could succeed offensively without Travis Kelce. Or a Travis Kelce.
Yeah, I agree. I think tight end is definitely in there. I do think Noah Gray played pretty well last year in different spots. So I think they can get away with bringing a younger guy in. And I know it was rumored at one point that Philly was possibly looking to trade Dallas Goedert. I do think they're going to need that. But I think they're a little bit away from investing in the future tight end when they just even I think Patrick Mahomes has showed that no matter what you put over there, and I know Kelce's always been a part of that, just give him some time and he can make some things work. So I don't know if they're going to need a Travis Kelce. They're going to need a player there that's good. But I think Mahomes has hit the point at the quarterback position where he can make a lot of guys look a lot better than what they really are as long as he has time. And time can just mean that the line can block in a way that's beneficial to him. I always think about Brady, where maybe the offensive line wasn't always top 5, but they had guys that were stout in the middle that can handle and make sure nobody rushed up the middle of the pocket. Brady was able to step up. That was what benefited Brady. I think they have to figure out what benefits Mahomes, having what key positions. Last year they had the interior guard, center guard. They were really good, but not having the tackles. I think Mahomes is a guy that wants to hold the ball a little bit more. He wants to move around in the pocket, that you're going to need tackles to protect. So I think if they don't have that, I think it showed that, you don't really get to see the true value and magic of Mahomes. So I still think I agree with you a little bit, that tight end, but I think they can go a little later where people feel like this is a deeper draft for tight ends and maybe get a guy that's not like Warren, who I think is an absolute stud. Maybe you don't get him, but you get another guy that can be a pretty good player for you and develop maybe in 3 years where you're like, all right, we really like this guy. He's going to be the player that we need, but maybe not the right away impact that a Warren would have.
They did extend Noah Gray last year at a very affordable, as tight ends go, 3-year, $18 million contract. He went on to have his best season, 40 catches, 437 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But he's not Travis Kelce. And that's the challenge. Do you need a Travis Kelce? I think they do. I think having a Travis Kelce covers up a lot of other warts in the pass-catching core, but the biggest warts are the blocking. And you're right. Patrick Mahomes needs time to move around. He turns 30 this year, so he's not going to be able indefinitely to move the way that he always has. He needs good blocking. And that Joe Thuney trade to the Bears, that was jarring to a lot of people because he was viewed as their best piece and their most versatile piece on the offensive line, and now he needs to be replaced. All right. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.